Part 62. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 613. It's hard to make money, but not easy to spend money. On the way to Central Star, Zhou Heiya insisted on renting a starship from the shipping company to experience the feeling of spending a lot of money to charter a flight. Interstellar charter? Tao Ran felt that he was too extravagant and wasteful. But then she thought about it and let him do it, let him build it. In this way, when he spends a lot of money in the future, he will naturally not dare to say a word. Can you imagine? That guy Zhou Heiya said that he was a multimillionaire, but he was still conservative. Absolutely amazing. In addition to the tens of millions of general star coins in the bank, the gold, diamonds, and other items in the vault have more than tripled in value after 20 years of inflation. His former boss actually had a private property signed in the name of his secretary. But after that incident, the secretary was bombed to death, so no one knows about the private property until now. Tao Ran accompanied him to the property on the outskirts of a small city in Gantaxing. More than 20 years later, the property is still in good condition. However, for properties with energy stones as backup power sources, the security system is still intact. They can't get in easily. As long as you can get in, 60% of the money here will be yours. Zhou Heiya clenched his fists and cheered Tao Ran with starry eyes. In order not to let money become dusty, what else is there to say? At that time, Tao Ran was wearing a protective suit, and he almost used all his martial arts and spiritual power to the extreme. After climbing over walls and climbing walls, he avoided all laser and infrared prying eyes, found a backup power source, destroyed the safety valve, and took away the energy stone. After the security system was destroyed, it didn't take long for the two to successfully break in. There are so many treasures in this house, from famous paintings to antiques. It took the two of them several days to deal with everything. Except for some things that were inconvenient to sell, in the end, the property was disposed of, totaling more than 300 million star coins. The multimillionaire was directly upgraded to a billionaire. So now they are indeed very rich. Zhou Heiya believed in Tao Ran and readily gave him the 60% promised to Tao Ran. His only request was to follow her from now on. All his relatives died. He didn't dare to meet his former friends and brothers, and he didn't dare to stay long with Gantaxing. He really had nowhere to go. He wanted to go to Central Star with her, enjoy life and help her at the same time. Although Tao Ran didn't think he could do anything to help him, one more person would be more powerful. You may be in danger if you follow me. I know you have many enemies, and they all want you dead. But that's why I have to follow you. Zhou Heiya patted his chest. I'm about loyalty. I owe most of what I am today to you. Thank you for your kindness, you are a human being. There is no one around you, I am really worried. He grinned with white teeth. I'm still waiting for the opportunity to go back to Planet Kot with you. So don't think about leaving me behind. Thanks. Don't worry, I'll try not to hold you back in the future. Tao Ran, who was feeling moved, was patted on the shoulder by him. From now on, I will be your father. My daughter, you must listen to your father's words from now on. Ha ha ha. How much advantage has this little girl taken advantage of before? He, a 50-year-old guy, nodded and bowed to her and called sister. This revenge could finally be avenged. In this way, the two chartered a plane and left Gantaxing. The first step for wealthy immigrants is to buy a house. What Zhou Heiya means is, if you want to buy a villa. Tao Ran readily agreed, each paying half of the money. The villa is nice and clean, and you don't have to be watched when you do anything. But here Tao Ran is still choosing a house, and over there Zhou Heiya has customized a sports car and a hover car, is considering buying a small aircraft, and has posted information on recruiting bodyguards on the Star Network. He had enough reasons. Your enemy is so ruthless, and I can't beat others, so why can't I find someone to protect me? My free days have just begun, there is no reason to be a short-lived ghost, right? Yes, I still have to find someone to get some new weapons. The security equipment must also be customized with the best quality. When the two moved into their new house, Taoran asked Zhou Hei about his remaining property, and found that this guy had squandered only half of his 120 million yuan. As a result, Zhou Hei's money was confiscated. Forced. Taoran snatched his optical brain, forced open his account, and used his face to make transfers. Only 1 million star coins were left for him. This million is your pocket money. 1 million a month, barely enough. It's a year. I'm so rich, so you only give me this little money. If you live a life of debauchery like you can live for another 50 years at most. Calculating your money over 50 years, you can only use 1 million a year. I'm afraid you'll starve to death in the future, so for your own good, I have to do this. I am your father and you don't support me. Don't even think about it. If you starve to death, this house will be mine. Evil son, Zhou Hei was furious, but he couldn't beat Taoran. What else could he do? These days, Taoran spends almost all of his money. Just install the most powerful training room in your home today. The small living room on the first floor was all used by her. Zhou Hei called her crazy. Taoran knew that he had nothing to do, so he gave him a new task. That is to help her collect information about each military school. You want to enter the military academy? Yes, if you don't enter the military academy, how can you win the Rookie King? How can you get close to a father and son named Nai without joining the army? If you don't take this step, how can you borrow the help of the enemies of Nai and his son? She will steal what she can, and destroy what she cannot. She also had to make preparations on both sides, inside and outside the military. I still have to think of ways to find Tang Yu, and there are a lot of things to think about. Go and find out if there is any way to get into any other military academies besides the 3rd Military Academy. It must be embarrassing at this time, right? Doesn't the military academy only recruit students in the fall? That's why I asked you to think of a way to see if there is any way to get in with money. Okay. Looking at the photos of the 5 members of the Nai family on the optical brain, Taoran sighed. There were still too few people at hand who could use them. She quite wanted to follow Nai Ronghai's family. But she didn't dare to use the people hired by Zhou Hei. She can't do anything on her own. Moreover, who can keep up with Nai Ronghai? That guy's mental power is SS level. It's impossible to get close to him without being noticed. Even Elizabeth's charm skills may not be effective at all against such a mentally strong person. There are so many bodyguards around him, and her head and 6 arms are not enough. Taoran, who had never had a clear test of her mental power, always felt that Tang Zhu's mental power was already very strong. She even took a chance and guessed that Tang Zhu might be God's favorite, and his mental power could reach SS. But after trying out the advanced training room for the past 2 days, she found that she was overthinking it. She simply couldn't pass the machine-simulated SS level stress test. This shows that her mental strength is S and at best. Only then did she realize why there were so few mentally strong people in the entire galaxy. She has worked so hard, but it is still difficult. Therefore, the only people she could follow were the other members of the Nai family. One of Nai's 2 sons is in a military academy, and she can't follow him. One is too small to mean much. So she could only go with the Nai family and her daughter first. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 614. Taoran was worried about Tang Yu's safety. If she were alive, if she were free, with her ability, she would definitely go to planet Kot to find someone. But in the past 6 months on Kot planet, he had arranged for his brothers to secretly watch every landing of alien spacecraft, but Tang Yu had no trace. So Chaoran suspected that she was either dead or imprisoned. If he is imprisoned, how should he find him? After Chaoran bought a car that was extremely high performance, powerful and unobtrusive, she started following it. The first to follow was Nai Ronghai's wife Disi. Chaoran's idea was that since Nai Ronghai had previously thought of reclaiming his illegitimate daughter, given his high position and authority, he would most likely tell his wife first. Then maybe Disi would also know about Tang Yu. But Chaoran waited on the road outside the Nai family's mansion for 3 full days, and his mental power failed to catch Disi leaving the house even once. Looking at the Nai family's luxurious third-floor villa from a distance, she thought to herself, that family wouldn't lock Tang Yu in their own home, would they? Disi didn't follow, but someone came to Nai's house that day. Chaoran almost thought he had seen it wrong. After the man drove out of Nai's house half an hour later, she followed him. Finally, she followed the man into a restaurant and sat at the table next to him. That appearance, that voice, that familiar smile, Chaoran didn't expect it to be him. He is Tang Yu's good neighbor, the person who helped her a lot and took care of her after Tang Yu disappeared, Uncle Vincent. How could the uncle who grew up with her admit her mistake? How could Tang Zhu forget the person who told her mother's last whereabouts? But why is he here? Why can I enter and leave Nai Ronghai's house? Shouldn't he be on coat? Chaoran saw Vincent's suit and bag had logos on them. They were government logos. Was he already an Alliance government official? He was previously in the COT military department, but at what speed of promotion would he be able to get ahead in an alliance with no foundation and enter the Central Star government? Do you even want to meet the alliance generals and head of state candidates? Could it be that he deliberately approached Nai Ronghai and was helping Tang Zhu avenge Tang Yu? How can it be? Tang Yu kept his name anonymous just to keep the secret. How could he let him know? So he had no reason to know that Tang Yu's disappearance was related to Nai Ronghai. There's only one possibility, right? He was Nai Ronghai's secret chess, or in other words, he betrayed Tang Yu and took refuge with Nai Ronghai for the sake of his future. So Tang Yu was so strong, yet he was still plotted against. Was she stabbed by one of her own? So the story Vincent told Tang Zhu may not be true. It was just to make Tang Zhu believe that except for Nai Ronghai, even the Kurt government could not find Tang Yu and induce Tang Zhu to go to Central Star to seek refuge with his father. Chaoran couldn't let go of such a scumbag who had harmed Tang Yu and Tang Zhu. The only comforting point is probably, now it is at least basically certain that Tang Yu's disappearance is related to Nai Ronghai's trash, so her previous speculations are all correct. That's good. Vincent came to this restaurant to have dinner with some colleagues. They had wine and meat, chatting and laughing. The laughter was particularly harsh, and Vincent was very proud of himself. Chaoran was unhappy and ordered a medium-rare steak, but she suddenly wanted to eat something bloody. When the knife goes down, the blood comes out, so happy. Hearing those trash guys at the next table talking about how to find some young ladies to accompany them tomorrow night, they would go to a certain mountain villa club to party all night long, Chaoran, who had been unable to do anything lately, suddenly decided that he couldn't bear it anymore. If Tang Yu is still alive, he will definitely be in danger and cannot waste time. After eating and following Vincent's address, Chaoran returned to the villa. Zhou Heiya was screaming at the door of his house because someone had delivered a whole truckload of building materials. I ordered it. Take it off, Chaoran stepped forward. A large cart of planks filled the front yard, and Zhou Heiya was extremely dissatisfied. How can I have afternoon tea when they are piled up like this? I have lost my leisure time in swimming. If you don't want them to pile up here, help me move the boards in. Chaoran strode inside and went directly to the basement. In the innermost room, she took out the large barrels of wine that Zhou Heiya had hidden in a few clicks. Pushed out. What are you doing? This is my baby. In a few days, I will customize a wine room for you just for wine. Only then did Joheiya notice Chaoran's bad mood. What do you need me to do? If you help me build a room, I will double the pocket money I will give you. If it is completed before noon tomorrow, I will triple the amount for you. In addition, help me replace the basement door with a fingerprint lock, which requires the highest security level. The kind. Remember, do it yourself. Why don't you find someone to do it? Inconvenient. Nearly 30 hours later, Joheiya finally understood what inconvenience meant. It was already midnight. He was drinking red wine and connecting his brain on the sofa to watch real-life fighting when he saw Chaoran coming back wearing big sunglasses. Joheiya jumped up subconsciously. The reason is simple. Every time this woman wears sunglasses, something big will happen. Then, he watched Chaoran quickly dragging a large suitcase to the basement. He quickly followed. At this time, Chaoran had already entered the small room that had just been renovated. All the original decorations had been removed, the sound insulation effect was excellent, there was no sunlight, only a dim light bulb, and the thick soundproof door had just been replaced this morning. The door was closed by her. The suitcase was thrown directly to the ground by her. What? Money. Joheiya raised his eyebrows and immediately squatted down to open the box. No password, easy to open. Then, he sat down on the ground and said, "IX." Inside the box is a person. A person who was locked in a box and didn't know whether to live or die, with blood on his mouth. Although this woman is a bit bad and poisonous, I have known her for so long and I have never seen her take the initiative to hurt anyone. Therefore, although Joheiya found it strange, he did not think in an exaggerated direction at all. Don't worry. He's not dead. Chaoran went up and dragged Vincent out, then asked Joheiya to get an alloy chain, and tied Vincent to the pillar in a few strokes. He is your enemy. Yeah, thinking that Tangzu was killed by him and Tangyu was missing, Chaoran kicked the man. Vincent was motionless and unconscious. Joheiya said that he would get some water and pour water on him to wake him up. No. It's a waste of water. Chaoran squatted next to Vincent, grabbed his wrist, and then twisted it. A muffled groan. Vincent gritted his teeth and finally opened his eyes. Chaoran did not let go, but continued to twist his dislocated hand. Tell me, where is Tangyu? Who? Vincent groaned again. Tangyu. Your neighbor, your comrade on Kot planet. That powerful female warrior. Who are you? What qualifications do you have to ask? Chaoran grabbed his arm and twisted it again. You said it or not? I have no idea. Have no idea? Chaoran stood up, gritted his teeth, and stepped on his ribs. Once again, there was a clicking sound. Surprising or not, there are more updates. Thanks for your support. Compare yourself to each other. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 615. Joheiya bared his teeth. A few clicks of the tongue. This woman was ruthless, no more soft-hearted than those guys in the real person fight he just watched. Not bad, nice looking. He likes. He didn't want to go up, so he just found a place to sit down, crossed his legs, and shook the red wine glass. Interesting. This woman has always been cautious. You want to disguise yourself everywhere. Now, since you directly show your face and do this, you are obviously not afraid of the person's revenge or spreading the matter in the future. It seems that this unlucky guy will never see the light of day again. This room was probably built just for him, right? Isn't this a small amount of hatred for bothering Ms. Tao so much? Tao Ran stepped down, deliberately only breaking one of Vincent's ribs. If he didn't say anything, she would step on it slowly. The heart-pounding pain made Vincent sweat on his forehead and his whole body trembled. If you don't say anything, I'll take care of you bit by bit. First I'll crush your ribs one by one, then I'll break all your joints one by one, and then I'll break all your bones piece by piece. After saying this, Tao Ran kicked him up and down his ribs again. No matter who you are, please think about the consequences. Vincent managed to spit out the sentence, I am an important government official and an assistant to the general. If you kidnap me, the general will not let you go. They will find you soon. If you ask me to break one bone, I have to be careful that you break 10. Zhou Heiya was startled and quickly jumped up and pulled Tao Ran. What general? What government, is it such a big deal? She knew she had an enemy, but did her enemy have such a high official position? You didn't kidnap him directly, did you? This is Central Star, not Branch, it's not where we were before. There are surveillance cameras everywhere. Zhou Heiya's scalp was numb. Where did he put his gun? Is it possible to pack up and run away again? Okay. I'm doing things, no matter what happens. If you're afraid, just go and avoid the limelight. If you don't leave, I won't leave either. Although Zhou Heiya was uneasy, he still sat back. Tao Ran knelt down in front of Vincent again and slapped him away. This slap was for Tang Yu. To stab a friend and comrade who is fighting side by side is not a human being. What a great assistant to the general, she was not polite and slapped her again. Naturally, this was done to help Tang Zhu. Harming someone's own mother, cheating on a child, tearing apart a family, garbage. Tao Ran used internal force in his hand and slapped him twice, causing Vincent to spurt out a mouthful of blood mixed with 3 teeth. Only then did panic flash in Vincent's eyes. This woman is so scary. This is not a simple external force beating. Her teeth are throbbing from the flesh of her teeth to the roots of her teeth. It is obvious that she was only hit on both cheeks, but all her teeth seem to be loose, and even her lower jaw is about to fall off. Feel. He coughed, and then 2 more teeth fell out. But he searched through his memory and couldn't remember who the woman with a strange face and strange aura in front of him was. Could it be some relative or friend of Tang Yu? Tao Ran, I'm telling you this, your general won't come to avenge you or rescue you. It's even possible that he won't even dare to investigate if you're missing. Do you believe it or not? After learning that Vincent was going to a certain villa to party all night, Tao Ran waited in advance on the way from his home to the villa. Of course she knew that Central Star was under surveillance. Vincent was an important government official and someone would conduct a thorough investigation after his disappearance. How could she not make a plan? What's the morality of dealing with garbage? Tao Ran didn't want to use his brain to play any conspiracy this time, and just wanted to deal with it quickly and simply. So, for the first time, she really used the skills given by Elizabeth in a mission. She made herself so beautiful that people couldn't take their eyes away, then put on a wavy brown wig, changed into a leg-revealing dress, put on a short fur, and waited on the road with high heels. In the face of such a beautiful woman, most passing cars would slow down when they saw her. Some would whistle, chat with her, ask for directions, or just ask for their signal. Vincent is no exception. Of course, it was Tao Ran who saw his car approaching and waved proactively. While asking for a ride, he activated the second skill given by Elizabeth, charm. Vincent was just there to have fun, and he was overjoyed to have such a charming beauty get on the bus, not to mention the charm that was suppressed by Tao Ran's mental power. He was so stupid that he forgot to go to the appointment and almost asked him to go wherever Tao Ran pointed him. Finally, the two went to Central Star Airport. Central Star is the most prosperous place in the entire alliance. People here are bustling with people. Thousands of planes and various aircraft rise and fall every day. Taoran took Vincent on his arm and made many twists and turns, heading to a terminal that rented aircraft. At her suggestion, Vincent also rented an aircraft. Even if someone traces it in the future, this scene will be a surveillance station. The last scene that could be filmed. The next two people went directly to the bathroom. 15 minutes later, a middle-aged woman with blonde hair, sunglasses, leather clothes, and leather pants, dragging a suitcase jumped out of the back window of the bathroom. Therefore, even if we trace her, we can only say that Vincent was so obsessed with sex that he took the beautiful lady in a plane from the airport to hang out somewhere. Of course, after Vincent was knocked unconscious and stuffed into the suitcase by her, she was not in a hurry to leave. Now that she was not afraid of being located, she simply looked through Vincent's optical brain. She didn't find any information related to Tang Yu, and the chat records between him and Nai Ronghai were obviously cleaned frequently. The only one is business. However, judging from the creation information of Chief Nai in the address book, the two have known each other for 3 years. It was this that made Taoran 100% certain that Tang Yu's disappearance must be related to this person. In this way, she will naturally not be soft-hearted at all. She must take him. Tang Yu's memory information is too little. As long as this person's mouth can be pried open, perhaps too many of Taoran's questions can be answered. They can't find it. Taoran only had a vest and shorts on this man, and she had thrown away everything else. Even his dashcam was destroyed while she was in the car. On the way back, Taoran changed his clothes twice, using public transportation, and even changed his suitcase once. As for Vincent's optical brain, Taoran didn't let it go either. She kept some of the useful stuff and then started transferring money. When he rented the aircraft, she saw all the passwords. All the money this man could transfer was transferred by Taoran to various charity organization accounts. Before Guang Brain was thrown into the sea, she was processed into a pile of Momo. So, who else can track him? Let me tell you, even if your admiral comes to my house, even if you scream until your throat is broken, no one will know that you are locked up here. The boards here are the best soundproof and bulletproof boards currently available in the league. It took her and Zhou Hei a whole day to complete the room. So, you can give up completely. Thank you, Brother Long. My book Friend's Tale number is 22,955, my book Friend's Tale number is 143,585, my book Friend's Tale number is 22,576, Baby's Reward, how do you like it? The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 616. The fear in Vincent's eyes was growing. He couldn't remember how he got here, and he didn't know where this place was. You just said, that even if the Admiral knew that I was missing, he would not dare to investigate. So, what does that mean? Taoran took out the optical brain. The optical brain was turned on and came to the news square. Then, the other two people present looked at the picture and were stunned. Taoran likes to make one move and gain several times. Since she had spent an hour waiting with high heels and bare legs in the cold weather, she naturally couldn't do just one thing. While in Vincent's car, she had already obtained his cell phone. His friend asked him when he would arrive. Taoran replied that he had met a beautiful woman on the way and would be late. His friends naturally didn't believe it. She induced her casually, and her friend over there immediately sent a few photos of how luxurious, lively, and beautiful the inside of the villa party was, and urged him to come over quickly. Naturally, she saved these photos and transferred them to her optical brain. After packing Vincent into the suitcase, Taoran went to many places. For example, the busiest shopping mall in Central Star. There, after connecting to the free internet with the spare optical computer she had prepared long ago, She bought the World pop-up screen in the largest live broadcast plaza and game plaza of Star Network, and exposed a piece of news, saying that according to a certain Mountain Villa personnel broke the news that Nai Ronghai's men in the 8th Army were having a filthy carnival, which was obscene and unsightly. Of course, dozens of messages were posted in a row. At the same time, she posted the shout-outs from several brothers in Vincent's group and photos of her drinking with beauties. Of course she arranged it randomly. Naturally, she didn't know who held the party, who was attending, what its scale was, what its nature was, and how many of Nai Ronghai's subordinates were. But she knew that since Vincent and the others could openly talk about attending a rave party in a restaurant, it would definitely not be really obscene. But she just deliberately talked nonsense, deliberately slandered, and deliberately poured dirty water on them. What could she do? If you have the skills, come and catch her. The news was like thunder, shocking all netizens, and quickly climbed to the top 10 news lists. The furious Nai Ronghai naturally suppressed the news immediately. But how could he suppress it? Not only does he have many enemies, he is now the first candidate for the next head of state. Who wouldn't want to wear a bad hat on him? Who doesn't want to stigmatize him and create a scandal? As for his other competitors, as soon as they saw the news, they knew that they were going for the 8th Army and Nai Ronghai. They were obviously sleeping on the pillow, right? Who cares about the truth at this time? Even if we don't add insult to injury, we have to let the storm continue for a while, right? Therefore, Nai Ronghai was busy clarifying, busy stopping rumors, suppressing public opinion, busy threatening to pursue it to the end, and make the rumor makers go to jail. But how could he stop other competitors from secretly adding fuel to the flames? Not only could they not suppress the storm, but with the help of their opponents, a large number of media people immediately rushed to the villa in aircraft. When the media arrived at the scene, they were unable to catch the scene, but they happened to photograph many people coming out of the villa. Some media said they had photographed a bewitching girl, others said they saw officials suspected of being part of Nai Ronghai's faction, and some said they got confirmation of bad parties from the villa service staff. Of course, we don't know whether these media reports are true or false. And to those people, as long as it's a scandal, truth or falsehood doesn't matter. Under this situation, Nai Ronghai would naturally track down who was the first to release this shocking slander. Unfortunately, he couldn't find anything. Taoran was so sure. Indeed, the owner of the light brain that Nai Ronghai chased showed that he came from a war star in a distant galaxy, and he clearly died in the war many years ago. The location where the information is released is in the downtown area of Central Star. It happened to be New Year, and a large number of people gathered in the 100-story Central Mall to watch the fireworks every night. Where would he find that person? Then just pick it up a little bit. I don't believe it. The light brain didn't leave any other clues, Nai Ronghai said bitterly. Sorry, it's true. Not only did Taoran use this optical brain only once, she and Joheiya brought it from Gantaxing. Because of their shady identities, the two of them were afraid that they would have to change their identities in the future, and they were also afraid that there would be inconvenience in their actions, so before coming to Central Star, they had already created a dozen optical brains with fake identities. You have money. A light brain costs 100,000 star coins. How much is this? Neither of them blinked an eye. After Taoran broke the news, he turned this optical brain into powder like Vincent's optical brain. After releasing the automatic protection program, he used the laser gun that had been placed in the car in the parking lot to turn it into powder, and then removed it from the 100th floor. Spread it down. So, what could Nai Ronghai find out? The only thing he could possibly find out would be the circulation of those photos, which were suspected to be related to Vincent. And Vincent was seduced by a beautiful woman. In this way, Nai Ronghai not only gained nothing, he also had to swallow this loss. In addition, it is logical for him to think that the only people who can do this and benefit from it are his competitors. Even that beauty was 90% sent by a competitor. Must be an agent. Undoubtedly. Therefore, Taoran found the perfect way to escape for himself early in the morning. The more Nai Ronghai couldn't find any useful information about her, the more certain he became. His revenge will only be placed directly on his competitors. Then she naturally got away perfectly. At this moment, Nai Ronghai is one of the top two. I am afraid that many people around him will be questioned about his style. He must be doing his best to clarify himself and his people and establish a positive image of them. So you said, at this time, knowing that you, Vincent, are a very casual, lecherous, and obscene pervert who hangs out with beautiful women, will he investigate your disappearance with great fanfare? Of course not. Once he launches an investigation, he will give the clue to his opponent and make everyone believe that his person is just such a fun-loving person who cannot control the lower body. The rumors of that obscene club will naturally be secretly stamped in the hearts of people. So even if you disappeared, not only would he not investigate, but he would also suspect that you were absconding in fear of crime because he fell into a honey trap and got him into a public scandal, or that you had defected to his political opponents from the beginning. To sum up, tell me, will he and his people look for you? Vincent's tongue trembled and his lips trembled, his face faded, and he couldn't say a word. Joheiya laughed loudly. Not only will he not look for you, I'm afraid he will want to kill you when he sees you. He must hate you to death. After saying that, Joheiya went up to help Taoran and kicked him onto Vincent's face. Taoran, that's why I dare to bring you here, and I dare to ensure that as long as I don't nod, no one will find you here. If you are more honest, you will suffer less. As she spoke, she took out another syringe from her windbreaker pocket. Otherwise, in the needle tube, there was a light red unknown liquid. What's this? Why am I telling you? Taoran smiled. I have prepared a dozen tubes of injections for you, try them one by one. Well, she was talking nonsense again. The syringe contained plain water and a sip of red wine from Joheiya's cup just now. Scare him. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 618. Taoran questioned Vincent using the charm skill when he was in the car, but it was useless. After all, Elizabeth's skill is a means that cannot be put on the table. It can control people's behavior, but not their consciousness. Taoran asked all the questions, but he gave messy answers. She got almost no useful information. Vincent was a soldier, and ordinary violence may not make him speak, so Taoran let him know that he would never be rescued, cut off his escape, let him give up, and let him know that there was no other way except to confess and be lenient. Walk. As for needles, people are probably more afraid of the unknown, right? Taoran thought so. But facing Taoran, who was threatening with a needle, Vincent's eyes flashed several times, but instead of saying stop, he simply closed his eyes. Taoran glared at Joheiya and told him to stop watching the show and not move. Joheiya hurriedly came up. Is this the new medicine from the dark lab? It's quite expensive. The needle in Taoran's hand had already penetrated Vincent, but the guy still gritted his teeth. Don't waste it. Joheiya reached out and grabbed it, and the entire needle broke into Vincent's flesh. This kind of person needs me. Oh? How come? Joheiya smiled evilly. For example, make some embarrassing videos for him. Let him be ruined and become a joke. When he said this, Vincent's eyes had opened. Taoran realized that, yes, for such people, perhaps the power of humiliation is more useful than physical pain. Good idea. Then you do it, Taoran nodded. I'll leave him to you. First, help him take off the rest of his clothes, and then give him some medicine. You can do whatever you want. Do you want to leave a bottom line? For example, pour some manure on him. Feed him. For example, lock him up with animals in heat. Then film it on video and post it online in front of him. Also let netizens see that league officials are unknown side. It's a good idea. This way, it can also add some glory to his admiral's face. If his admiral becomes a trafficker, he will definitely thank his whole family. When these words came out, Vincent's head was already shaking like a rattle. He also has a brother and a nephew. If he pisses off Nai Ronghai and ruins his campaign, the other party might do something in anger. You figure it out. Tao Ran pretended to leave, but Zhou Heiya stepped forward and just tore Vincent's vest. He finally shouted, "Wait! Vincent, what do you want to know? Tang Yu and her daughter's affairs, as well as your general's affairs. Tell me what you know. I have no grudge against you. As long as you are willing to tell the truth, I will not only not embarrass you, but also let you go." Of course it's nonsense. Do you need to be trustworthy when dealing with garbage? You ask, I can answer. Where is Tang Yu? I have no idea. When Tao Ran heard this, he stepped on his ribs again. How could you not know? I advise you to tell the truth. I am not very patient. Really, I really don't know, I swear. An hour later, the truth was probably revealed. It was similar to Tao Ran's guess. A few years ago, Nai Ronghai took advantage of Vincent and used Cheng as a lure to force Vincent to do things for him. One day 3 years ago, someone from the Central Star came and gave a mission to the Ryan Star military headquarters. Tang Yu went to carry out the task, but before she boarded the starship, she had already drank the medicine given by Vincent. Tang Yu fell ill, her starship was hijacked, and she disappeared. I was on Lion Planet at the time, and I didn't know where she was sent. After I came to Central Planet, I didn't dare to ask about it. Admiral Nai never mentioned it to me. Everything I said was true. Tao Ran was disappointed when there was no trace of Tang Yu. What about Tang Zhu? What did you do to her? I'm sorry for her. I was ordered to guide her back to the Central Star, and the mission was accomplished. But I didn't expect that something happened to her. After I was transferred to the Central Star, I investigated the matter and found out that the Admiral was ill. She was powerless, someone took advantage of her, and she was harmed. Vincent saw that this woman was either a relative or a friend of Tang Yu and her daughter. At this moment, he naturally quickly tried to compensate and save her. I grew up watching Tang Zhu. She kept calling me uncle. How could she collude with interstellar pirates? Poor child. Okay. Wouldn't it be better if you just say that it was Nai Hua who harmed her? At this time, you still want to help cover up. Vincent was shocked. He didn't expect that the woman in front of him even knew this. It's Nai Hua. He was the one who did it. I was very angry at the time, really. I went to the general to question him. Then your good general will give you a promotion to shut you up, right? Tao Ran couldn't help but slap him again. What a great uncle. No, the admiral told me. He dealt with Fang Te. It was Fang Te who failed to protect Xiaozu and failed to stop Nai Hua. Fang Te was removed from his post by the admiral and sent to Kori. Kori seeing, the war-torn seeing, the people are in dire straits, so sending him there is equivalent to being exiled, and it can also be regarded as revenge for Xiaozu. Revenge, Tao Ran became even more angry. What Tang Zhu wants is revenge. What she wants is rescue, garbage. It sounds like it's revenge, but in reality, isn't it just for the sake of one's own conscience? If he really wanted to miss his old relationship, he would have to at least visit Starcott, right? When Fang Te was dismissed from his post, it was not because of an explanation. It was clearly because Nai Ronghai was afraid that his conspiracy would be discovered by his political opponents, So he processed the witnesses in advance. Haha, no wonder I haven't seen his guard Fang Te next to Nai Rong Hai for so long. Tao Ran suppressed his anger. Let me ask you, in your opinion, is Tang Yu dead or alive now? Stay alive. Tang Yu is a very strong and smart woman. She will not be knocked down easily. If someone really wants to kill her, even if she has only one breath left, she will probably find a way to deal with it. This is what I know about her. Nai Rong Hai had the intention of using Tang Yu to manipulate Tang Zhu. Since he arranged for Tang Zhu to come to the Central Star, Tang Yu should also be on the Central Star at that time. But after Tang Zhu was exiled, he didn't know. So, it's come full circle and we're back to square one? Tao Ran was unwilling to give in. I've said everything you want to ask, can you let me go? Vincent Baba asked. Let go? If Tang Yu dies, you will have to be buried with her. If Tang Yu is not found, you will have to be locked up here forever to atone for your sins. You want to get out of trouble, unless one day Tang Yu comes back and she is willing to let you go. Therefore, I advise you to think carefully to see if there is anything you missed just now, and to think about where Nai Rong Hai might have hidden her. If it was Central Star, would Nai Rong Hai have a place to hide her? In addition, I want the names of all Nai Rong Hai's confidants, all the loopholes and handles you can think of about Nai Rong Hai, his habits and hobbies, the places he likes to go and do, and information about his family members. The more detailed the better. Remember, if you want to escape and suffer less, you have to correct your stance and help me find Tang Yu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 619. At this point, what else does Zhou Heiya not understand? Tang Zhu, who was exiled to the planet Kot, was none other than Tao Buran in front of him. After leaving the basement, Zhou Heiya opened his best bottle of red wine and filled it with Tao Ran. Tao Ran didn't hide anything from him and simply gave him an overview of Tang Zhu's affairs. Zhou Heiya was stunned, never expecting that the person who wanted her to die was her brother. The person who harmed her was her biological father. The person who caused all this was her trusted neighbor uncle. How could there be such an unlucky person? Tao Ran, my enemy is now the first candidate for the next head of state. If you are afraid, you can leave. I will also return all your money to you. Are I afraid? I was ready to die when I came out from the planet Kot with you. We earned today's good life together. I haven't paid back what I owe you, so don't try to drive me away. And don't care about me whether I call you sister or daughter, we are all a family. Don't worry, your revenge will be my revenge from now on. Let's avenge it together. Zhou Heiya was very loyal and immediately said that he would stop enjoying things from tomorrow and would help her track the Nai family. He will also follow her previous request and work hard to improve his physical and mental strength to help her. At noon the next day, Zhou Heiya brought news about the military academy to Tao Ran. Bad news. We are not in the enrollment stage now. If you want to enter any military academy, you will need to be recommended by someone. Money alone is of no use. Where do they go to find people to recommend? Both of them sighed, completely helpless. Vincent did provide a piece of news in the evening, saying that in the past 2 years, the relationship between Nai Rong Hai and his wife had become tense. Ms. Nai found excuses to avoid several military activities. She also excused herself from attending the coalition government's Christmas and New Year banquets. But she herself participated in private gatherings with other ladies. You know, they used to be a well-known loving couple in the entire Central Star, and they always followed each other. But when Admiral Nai was injured last time, Ms. Nai didn't show up when traveling. Logically speaking, during the election period, she should give her full support to Nai Rong Hai, right? So, Dis is dissatisfied with Nai Rong Hai. Tell me, could it be because of Tang Yu? Vincent said weakly. Maybe, Tang Yu is still on the Central Star? Does Dissy know about it? Is she very dissatisfied? So. Tao Ran hoped so. Tang Yu and Nai Rong Hai had an old relationship, Dissy must know. Since Nai Hua knew about the illegitimate child, Dissy should also know about it. But Tang Zhu is dead, what else does she mind? So it's very possible, she cares about Tang Yu's existence? Tao Ran felt that she had to get close to Dissy to check. Vincent has learned his lesson today and provided a lot of information. Tao Ran finally extracted something useful. Said that this weekend, Nai Rong Hai's daughter, Miss Nai, Jenny Nai will attend a huge charity ball. Charity? Tao Ran raised his eyebrows, he was familiar with this. Also, get close to that family, let's start with Jenny Nai. They are similar in age, maybe they can be good friends. There are still 2 days left, just enough time to prepare. In 1 day's work, Zhou Heiya obtained 2 tickets. Naturally, it costs some money. As soon as the proof of assets was shown and the ticket donation of 80,000 yuan was paid, the organizer warmly invited them. For their first appearance, both of them dressed up. Zhou Heiya was wearing a suit and leather shoes, and a stylist gave him a look that suited him. His whole person was completely transformed, and it looked like that. If you spoke less, you would still look like a celebrity. Tao Ran himself dressed low-key, wearing all black, and of course, a set of designer jewelry. With his hair combed back, he looks handsome and capable, with a strong aura that makes people not to underestimate him. She inquired and found out that Miss Nai didn't like to be friends with particularly beautiful girls, but she liked rich and powerful ladies. I have to humiliate myself and please her. The dance was held in the banquet hall of the Central Star Theatre on the 108th floor in the city center. The purpose of the dance is to raise funds for an asteroid that has just calmed down the war to help it resume production and life as soon as possible. Tao Ran and the two arrived early. After walking around the crowd, Tao Ran started to sneer. There were so many people on the dance floor, but no one was really talking about charity. It's just nice to say. After finding a seat, father and daughter calmly drank a glass of champagne each. Tao Ran took a dance brochure and pretended to look through it, but in fact he was looking around at everyone. She didn't expect that Jenny Nai would come quite early. But she soon understood why. That girl came with a purpose, to mingle with celebrities and socialites, and to lead the conversation to her father and brother. To put it bluntly, it was to gain support. It seemed that Vincent's guess was correct. This was Dissy's choice. In this situation, Nai Rong Hai could only let his daughter have sex. Jenny Nai's dress is exquisite, not very flashy, but she put a lot of effort into it. It can be seen that the dress is custom made by hand. It may not be expensive, but it will certainly take a long time. The rumors from outside are also true. The girls around Jenny Nai are all a bit worse in appearance than her, and their clothes match hers. She looks rather cute, with a round face and round eyes with 2 pair dimples. He originally had a sweet appearance, but unfortunately, there was too much shrewd calculation in his eyes. Everyone is weighed in her eyes, and those who can make her take the initiative to communicate are without exception noble ladies or people with real power who can have some influence on the election. After the dance started, Jenny Nai had been busy socializing gracefully, changing dance partners one after another. Treat every one of them with so much kindness and a bright smile. Good job, Tao Ran praised half-heartedly. It's hard work. If her father succeeds, she will be the #1 princess in the alliance. How majestic, Zhou Heiya snorted. The father and son named Nai were so vicious, and this daughter might not be much better. You can tell from the fact that she doesn't allow anyone around her to be prettier than she is, that she is a jealous person. In order to preserve her status as a princess, she may have participated in the persecution of Tangzu. Are you feeling sorry for Tangzu? Taoran smiled and clinked glasses with Zhou Heiya. Yeah, he nodded. You're a crooked clown, she's not as good looking as you at all. I think so too. Taoran grinned at his teeth again. Tangzu was really good looking in the past, and she also inherited Tang Yu's cool temperament, which was the fairy nagging that only appeared in movies and TV series. I just hate that I was disfigured. I heard that no matter how much nourishment and exercise the princess takes, her mental strength is only a dash, which is far worse than you. Her physical strength is even worse. How many ways can you beat her? Seeing that Taoran was unhappy, he thought she was because of being a fan. Feeling sad about his fate, Zhou Heiya thought of ways to put in good words. Thank you for your comfort. Taoran decided to double his pocket money. Of Nai Ronghai's 3 children, Nai Hua is the most capable. When it came to Jenny Nai, it dropped too far. So she was afraid of being teased, so she simply didn't follow the old path of her father and brother and went directly to study literature. Zhou Heiya suddenly laughed and pointed at the door. Look, the princess is deflated. Thank you to the book friend whose tail number is 22,576. Brother Long, I am so beautiful and want to become an immortal. I will reset Lei Huo with you and wait for the baby's reward. Compare your feelings. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 620. Taoran saw the so-called frustration. As soon as a handsome young man entered the banquet hall, Jenny Nai greeted him sweetly. Not only did he call out Brother Yu, he also took the initiative to reach out for him. But unfortunately, that person didn't even give the princess face, and squatted down to tie his shoelaces, avoiding Jenny Nai's hand stretched out in the air. It's him, Taoran and Zhou Heiya said in unison. I never expected that I would meet an acquaintance. This person was none other than Lime, whom Taoran and Zhou Heiya met on the transit star before. He paid Taoran to be his bodyguard, and Taoran saved his life. When they rescued Lem, they had seen his true appearance without his hat and beard, so they recognized him at a glance. Know what Lime, Nai Jenny called him just now? Taoranka heard it. It was Brother Yu, which did not match the word Lime. Obviously the name Lime was fake. Lime only gave Nai Jenny a perfunctory smile, finished tying his shoelaces, and walked forward quickly. Nai Jenny was obviously embarrassed, but she still followed closely. She even ignored her previous dance partners and companions and followed that Brother Yu all the way. Taoran was curious and couldn't help but amplify his mental power and follow a few steps. Then I heard Jenny Nai asking incessantly when he came back, why he didn't contact her. She said she sent him a lot of messages while he was away from Central Star, why didn't he reply, and whether he had received her invitation letter. He must go to her birthday party next week. Is Grandpa in good health? She wants to visit tomorrow and asks him if he is free. Lime just said impatiently, Miss Nai, if you have anything to say, I'll talk to you later. After saying that, he walked directly into the bathroom. Lou's face? Very cool. Taoran had already photographed the man's appearance with his optical brain. After searching, he found that this guy who could make Nai Jenny chase after him like this was indeed extraordinary. He is a famous person and has a lot of information. He is not an ordinary son of a wealthy businessman, and the content of the business card he gave Taoran before was also fake. His name is Mi Hongyu, and he is the youngest grandson of Milk, the largest alloy dealer in the alliance. The Mi family supplies 1/3 of the alloys in the alliance. The industry is spread all over the alliance, and the family business ranks among the top 5 in the alliance. However, the Mi family has seldom been involved in politics in recent years and is unwilling to take sides easily. They would rather donate generously to various charities than make any sponsorships in the military. Therefore, just this year, the Mi family became the target of all the army's efforts. They all thought that if they could get support, they would have no worries about military funds. And this Mi Hongyu happens to be old man Mi's favorite grandson. He is really powerful. No wonder Nai Zhenyi tried so hard to get close to him. Tao Ran smiled lightly. I also want to get close to him. Zhou Heiya also nodded while holding the optical brain. The important thing is to have money friends who have saved their lives. Will they still have to worry about pocket money in the future? However, Tao Ran's main target now is Nai Zhenyi. A minute later, a scene unfolded. The director, of course, is Tao Ran. Nai Zhenyi, who was holding the red wine, was still lingering around waiting for Mi Hongyu to come out. However, when Zhou Heiya, who was washing his hands in front of the men's bathroom, coughed into Tao Ran's ear, a glass bead from the decorative bottle quietly hit him. He grabbed Nai Zhenyi's stiletto heels, which were a full 10 centimeters tall. With a B-level physique, he didn't even have time to react when he encountered this internal blow. The heel tilted and slipped. Zhenyi Nai was about to sit down as soon as she could. At that moment, all I could think about was that her snow-white pearl skirt would be stained, the red wine in her hand would spill on the floor and stain the skirt, she would fall to the ground in a panic, so many people would be watching her, or her ugly appearance would be photographed, it would never be washed away. The dirty stuff. What she thought of instantly made her want to find a hole in the ground, and the moment she leaned back and slid down, she happened to see Mi Hongyu coming from the bathroom. Wanna die? But, someone actually saved her. Unbelievable. Zhenyi Nai was so grateful to the girl in front of her who appeared in time to support her waist to prevent her from falling to the ground, and also stabilized her red wine glass. What a handsome girl. Are you okay? Tao Ran exuded great kindness. People are coming and going, so be careful when sliding. At that moment, the glass beads had been kicked away by her. Zhenyi Nai was very grateful. She stroked her chest and found that not a drop of red wine was spilled and her skirt was intact. She didn't make a fool of herself, not at all. Few of the other guests noticed the surprise. Thank you so much. She looked at the ground, but there was nothing. Why did she almost fall? How may I call you? When Nai Zhenyi looked at the people around her, she found that she was smiling at Mi Hongyu, who was almost in front of her, and Mi Hongyu said it's you with a look of surprise on his face. The moment he came out of the bathroom, he saw the woman walking past Zhenyi Nai. Looks so familiar. A bit like the bodyguard he hired before the battle, but if you look closely at the facial features, they don't look alike. He was hesitating whether to say hello or not when he saw the woman take action. That cool and unrestrained move, able to save someone and save a cup in half a second, reminded him instantly of the time when he was in danger, how she had predicted the crisis, pulled him and even blocked it for him. That familiar voice. Then he saw her smiling at him. It was indeed her. Mi Hongyu strode forward. Are you coming to Central Star? Yeah. I didn't expect to see you here. Nai Zhenyi's expression was complicated. Do you know each other, brother? This is. Friend. Tao Ran took the lead. Friends, that's how Mi Hongyu originally responded. There is no need to spread the news about what he is doing outside. Embarrassment flashed across Zhenyi Nai's face. What kind of introduction is this? Who has to say the last name? Mi Hongyu was very grateful for Tao Ran's appearance. Zhenyi, I haven't seen my old friend for a long time, and I want to talk to her alone. I won't accompany you for the time being. You go to dance first, don't you mind? He finally found a way to get rid of the follower. Zhenyi opened her mouth, knowing that someone had just helped her, so she really couldn't say anything, so she could only nodded and said to come to him later. Sister, thank you again. I'll talk to you later. Good. Tao Ran was very polite, smiling and nodding to Zhenyi Nai. The two of them went to the sofa chair in the corner. Lime, Taoran called Mi Hongyu deliberately. I am an honest person. I just saw you being harassed and came here specifically to help you out. But you treated me. Taoran just wanted to remind him that he owed him another favor. Coupled with the grace of saving my life and the fact that he gave me a fake name and identity, it was just 3 favors. Mi Hongyu quickly apologized with a smile and gave him his real business card again. People always have inconveniences in the world. Please understand. Although most of the information on the business card I gave you last time was false, the Guangnao account on it is real. It is my trumpet. Don't worry, I was supposed to do it before. The promises I made still count. Zhou Heiya secretly gave her a thumbs up from a distance. With one move, he gained the favor of both parties. She was the only one who could do such a thing. Add more. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 621. Taoran suddenly stole the show. The boy from the Mi family actually sat and drank with the handsome girl. And he even invited the girl to dance. The point is, that girl dances, really well. For a time, everyone from Jenny Nai to all the guests were asking who the girl was. However, when the optical brain entered the girl's face, no such person could be found, indicating that he was not a famous person. After checking with the organizer, I found out that she was the daughter of a wealthy businessman who had just immigrated to Central Star. No wonder I haven't seen or heard of it before. But, is she really just a girl born into a wealthy business family? It really doesn't look like it. Taoran didn't want to jump originally. But Mi Hongyu said that he needed a dance partner tonight to get rid of the girl who coveted him. Her appearance was just right, I hope she can help him with this. Taoran made a request to Mi Hongyu and had no choice but to agree. Fortunately, she had learned ballroom dancing before filming, and she learned it seriously. It is the most classical court ballroom dance. Very few people can dance this kind of dance now, so when she performed it on the dance floor, she immediately stole all the limelight. The skirt is flying, the posture is elegant, and the expression is proud, without any sense of kitsch or show-off, which enhances the style of the entire dance floor. Many people who were originally dancing got out of the way, giving the two of them more space to perform. Many people began to speculate that the new immigrants to the Bao family were not ordinary nouveau riche or businessmen. Just look at this court dance and you will know that it has a rich heritage. Immediately, some people began to suspect that anyone who could make a boy from the Mi family smile so sweetly and be so attentive must be from a super wealthy family. Could it be that this Bao family is some kind of invisible wealthy family? Even Jenny Nai became serious. She believed it too. My qualifications are not bad. But when the girl passed by him just now, he was able to react in time and save him, which shows that this girl's mental strength and physical strength are stronger than his. But my mental strength is already A. This girl is at least A+, maybe even as S as her brother, right? But with such mental strength and physique, and such a low-key family, what is it if not an invisible wealthy family? For a moment, Jenny Nai's attention was directly divided into half of this misbao. If it was a truly wealthy family, it would have to be fought over, and I would be considered a big contributor. The look in her eyes when she looked at Taoran became much gentler in an instant, and she even forgot about her jealousy for the time being. Taoran was getting straight to the point and asked Mi Hongyu to do her a favor. I want to enter the military academy, but I need someone to recommend me. Can you help me find a way? Mi Hongyu was stunned. It is rare for a girl to want to enter a military academy, but she is quite capable, so it is understandable that she would like to have more room to perform. I owe you a favor and I have no shame to refuse you. Although my grandfather is unwilling to get involved in politics, the problem is not big. I can ask him to find an intermediary to recommend you. Thanks. Thank me after you finish it. Then, Go to my house for dinner tomorrow and tell my grandpa personally. Good. I'm curious, since you are so rich, why were you hired by me at that time? You can have the character of Lime, but you don't allow me to have the character of a poor person. That makes sense. Mi Hongyu leaned closer and said, then can I continue to hire you? Bodyguard. Bodyguard and girlfriend. Just pretend. Help me get rid of some creeps. No. The conditions are up to you. No time. I want to enter the military academy. All right. For a long time, Mi Hongyu was with Baofu in the eyes of many people. He also went out of his way to say hello to Zhou Heiya, shake hands, and toast. Zhou Heiya liked him very much and directly invited him to play at home, and he readily agreed. Many people have heard what Mi Hongyu said, then I will go see my uncle tomorrow and then take Xiaofu to my house. Many people took a breath. Such as Jenny Nai. To this day, she has not been able to go to Mi's house alone. This made her one step closer to confirming that this Baofu was not simple. It was not until shortly after the auction started that Mi Hongyu went to talk to his friends. The Bao family's father and daughter didn't take any action. Once they did, they directly bought a painting for a huge sum of 5 million star coins. This bold move once again made the Bao family's father and daughter the center of attention. It also confirmed to everyone that the father and daughter were not just ordinary rich, but more like they came from a wealthy family. When Jenny Nai came over to get close with a champagne glass, Taoran was chatting with a lady in a coherent manner. Jenny listened for a while and became even more convinced that this knowledgeable Miss Bao was something special. Nai Jenny came to express her gratitude enthusiastically, calling Taoran's sister and Zhou Heiya uncle. She was sweet and obedient. Zhou Heiya directly gave up his seat to the two of them. Nai Jenny took Mi Hongyu as the topic of conversation and first confirmed their relationship. Taoran emphasized to her, friends are good friends, not boyfriend and girlfriend. This answer made Jenny Nai smile even brighter, and she further started to ask about the Bao family. Taoran opened his mouth and said that his surname was after his grandmother. Grandpa had a woman outside, gave birth to a child, and brought the woman and the child home. When grandma got angry, she took her father and broke away from the original family. She said this deliberately, not only to explain the sudden emergence of their family, but also to test Jenny Nai. Sure enough, Nai Jenny's expression was obviously distorted, and she tightened her hold on Taoran's hand, feeling quite sympathetic. There are so many shameless women in this world. They are despicable and despicable. How could your grandma just walk away? Doesn't that mean you have given up everything? How can you be so willing? It's my grandpa's fault. What can I do if I don't give in? Taoran narrowed his eyes. Grandma was so ambitious that she only took away the industries she created and gave up other industries worth tens of billions of stars. Your grandma, how can you bear this tone? How many billions? Jenny Nai felt like her heart was clenched. I won't swallow my anger. What else? In my opinion, all the third sons and illegitimate children in this world should not exist. Since they are mistakes, they should be corrected. If I were you, I would not give up those properties, nor would I swallow this breath. Why? That book, that's what we deserve. There's nothing wrong with protecting our own things. Even if it goes too far, it's not too much. Taoran nodded. Judging from the way Nai Jenny gritted her teeth, she was probably an insider of the Tangyu mother-daughter incident, or a perpetrator. Sister, I have always hated evil. If you want to recover your property and need help from my family, just ask. Princess Jenny did not forget to find every opportunity to use it. If my father succeeds in the election, he will definitely be able to help you. Okay, I understand. Nai Jenny was overjoyed and refused to let go of Taoran. Over there, Mi Hongyu was about to come over, but when he saw Nai Jenny there, he turned around and left again. Jenny Nai grinned at her teeth. If her father hadn't asked her to have a relationship with Mi Hongyu, she wouldn't have bothered to stay so close. Sister, it's my birthday next week and there's a party at my house. Can I invite you to it? Of course Taoran couldn't ask for it. I'll take Mi Hongyu with me. She patted Jenny Nai's hand specially and winked again. Jenny Nai had exactly this intention. As long as Mi Hongyu comes to the door, even if he does nothing, her family can stir up public opinion that binds the Mi family. She immediately leaned her head closely against Taoran. Sister, you are so kind. I love you so much. You are simply my biological sister. That's right, Taoran chuckled. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 622. Nai Ronghai has been really worried lately. What happened that night was used as an excuse. As the carnival turmoil intensified, there were rumors that the atmosphere under his rule was not what it seemed. To make matters worse, someone revealed that one of his officers, Vincent, had summoned a female gang member on the night of the carnival and provided a video of Vincent smiling lewdly and inviting a woman to get in the car. Nai Ronghai was furious. Not long after the incident that day, he checked Vincent's whereabouts several times. He found someone to delete the video of Vincent summoning a beautiful woman to the car on the way as soon as possible. Now that it has been exposed, it once again proves that this matter was secretly promoted by someone. And those who have this ability are obviously only those political opponents. Officer PC, this is a violation of federal law. Less than 10 minutes after the news was revealed, the entire internet was in shock. Nai Ronghai was inevitably implicated. But he couldn't find Vincent's person. In order to clear things up, he could only issue a statement saying that the day before the incident, Vincent was fired from his department because he wanted to take forced leave. To this end, Nai Ronghai also posted the video he found of Vincent leaving from Central Star Airport. But an hour later he was slapped in the face. Because someone immediately counterattacked, saying that Vincent was in and out of the Admiral's house the day before the incident, and that he also went to work normally on the day of the incident, and the video was also exposed online. And all of this was naturally done by Taoran. She quickly mingled with Nai Ronghai's political opponents to promote public opinion and asked Vincent to come forward and explain himself. At this time, many people discovered that Vincent was missing. Someone revealed that Vincent was seen being taken away by Nai Ronghai's people on the night of the incident. It was said that Nai Ronghai was at a critical moment in the election, and he was afraid that Vincent PC would be exposed, so he silenced him. Before Nai Ronghai had time to respond, he never expected that Vincent's brother would also come forward to testify against him. All the money in my brother's account has been donated. Although my brother often does good deeds, how could he donate all his life savings? He also has brothers and young nephews. He will never do that. Something must have happened. After Vincent disappeared, his brother went to check the account. When he found out that his brother's huge amount of money was missing, he naturally wouldn't let it go. The central bank checked the records and found that the huge sum of money was donated to charity in the name of the 8th Army. Don't you understand? It was Nai Ronghai who did it. Using power for personal gain, killing people and silencing them, destroying corpses and misappropriating other people's property, Vincent's brother could no longer give up. With the support of Nai Ronghai's political opponents, he expressed in the live broadcast that he wanted to seek justice for his brother. We will never let that executioner Nai Ronghai go. The only thing Nai Ronghai could do was to ask the other party to produce evidence. There was no evidence, and Vincent couldn't find it, so the matter turned into a war of words. Despite the verbal and written criticism, Nai Ronghai's reputation was inevitably affected. His approval rating is declining at a speed visible to the naked eye, and he is about to be overtaken by the second place. So now Nai Ronghai is anxious to do something to restore the impact of this blow on his reputation. And Taoran became popular. Her performance at the dance was filmed. Coupled with curiosity about her, she suddenly became the target of invitations from ladies and ladies. But now she is preparing to go to Mi's house tomorrow. The old man of the Mi family retired because of poor health, so she prepared a gift, a spiritual stone bracelet. When she was in Gantaxing, she sent the spiritual stone necklace she made by herself to the store manager, and added the store manager's optical account with a small number. She put a lot of effort into making that necklace. In order to guide the spiritual energy, she tried to carve a basic rune on the spiritual stone. After trying again and again many times, I finally succeeded. She also made a necklace for Joe Heiya and observed him every day. The feedback from the store manager and Joe Heiya told her that the necklace worked very well. Although it cannot cure diseases, it is suitable for maintaining the body. Under the guidance of the spiritual talisman, the spiritual energy is peacefully exported and nourishes the human body. For example, Joe Heiya, for example, only sleeps less than 5 hours a day recently, but he is still full of energy. So she used 16 spirit stones, carved 16 talismans, scrapped a large piece of spirit stone mine, and spent an entire night making a bracelet. Old man Mi is rich and powerful, so he might need his help one day. The next day, Taoran followed him to Mi's house. I thought that a prominent family like the Mi family would have a home similar to a manor. But Taoran found that she was overthinking. The Mi family is much simpler and more low-key than she imagined. As for old man Mi, although he looks stern, he is not as scary as the rumors say. At the dinner table, old man Mi asked her directly why she, a girl, wanted to go to a military academy. In order to realize the value of life, there is nothing wrong with this statement. I heard from Xiaomi that you are very skilled and mentally strong. Can I ask what your level is? I'll be honest with you, I haven't tested it properly until now. Impossible, even Mi Hongyu didn't believe this. In the interstellar era, as long as the quality is higher, what will happen? Many schools will organize physical examinations. Really? I swear on my dearest father. If I lie, my father will be struck by lightning tonight and won't survive tomorrow. Of course, she wished Nai Ronghai would be struck to death tonight. What appeared in front of Mi Hongyu's eyes was the dark-skinned man who had pulled him to greet him not long ago. That's so cruel. Why would you swear by such a good father? Old man Mi asked her which military academy she wanted to go to. Taoran replied, as long as it's not the 3rd military academy under the 8th army, anywhere will do. Why don't you like the 8th army? I just don't like Nai Ronghai. Taoran was very straightforward, which made Mi Hongyu take a second look at her. Old man Mi looked at his grandson, and Mi Hongyu shook his head. I didn't say anything to her. Mi Hongyu hummed, you are really good. Since you don't like Nai Ronghai, you still had a heated fight with Jenny Nai last night. Isn't that to help you out? Taoran asked back, and Mi Hongyu was speechless. Taoran wanted to bet that the Mi family didn't like Nai Ronghai either. Otherwise, how could Mi Hongyu be so disrespectful to Jenny Nai? He is not a stupid person. On an occasion like last night, he didn't know that his actions represented the Mi family. Old man Mi, don't you think highly of Nai Ronghai? Yes. Why? I learned from my ancestor to read people. His eyes are poisonous, his nose is scheming, and his lips are mean. Such a person will not be a good head of state. The old man laughed. Why is this girl talking so eloquently? He seems to be quick-tongued and quick-tempered, but none of his words seem to be true. Your ancestors' teachings are quite complex. The old man is right. My ancestor is a polymath. His teachings are inconspicuous, but everything is practical. And everything is a lost treasure. Oh? What kind of magic do you also know? For example, the fight that saved your young master. For example. Tao Ran glanced at the old man's legs. Acupressure technique that can make the old man's legs more comfortable. Old man Mi's legs are not in good condition. He was injured on a war planet when he was young and missed the first time for treatment. As he gets older, his old problems often recur. Tao Ran had done his homework before coming today, just to try to make the old man rely on him. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 623. Tao Ran doesn't know how to massage, but she learned acupuncture points in Yutong's world. She doesn't know how to heal, but she can control spiritual power. So, when she pushed the spiritual power away from where old man Mi felt discomfort in his knees, and then used her strong mental power to pull the spiritual power, the old man's legs felt almost immediate, feeling as comfortable as a spring breeze. The spiritual power took away the congestion and nourished the atrophied muscles. Old man Mi's expression changed from surprise to joy to disbelief. He stared at Tao Ran with wide eyes. There is no need to call a doctor or use instruments to measure it. Your own body knows best. Half an hour later, Mr. Mi's hand on his knee was trembling slightly. Can you heal my leg? The old man's eyes were bright. Not necessarily. She didn't finish her sentence, nor did she give up hope. Master, your legs need to be nursed back to health. They need long-term treatment. If you receive my massage regularly and I help you with the conditioning, what I can guarantee is that you will never need a wheelchair or crutches, and you will be able to return to at least 80% of your health. Tao Ran has her plans. Whether she goes to the military academy or takes revenge, she still needs someone to support her. Letting this old man ask for help from her would not only make her plan more effective, give her the green light to do anything, but also provide more people to protect her. When the old man needs her, he will naturally protect her, her people, her property, and even her identity and background. She is so lacking in help now. Really? The old man was so excited that his beard trembled. I never expected that a miracle would happen. His doctors have begun recommending that he use a wheelchair. He couldn't accept that he couldn't stand up after being the leader for decades, so in recent years, he didn't care about anything and didn't even want to show his face. Because he was afraid that his property would be affected if he fell, he did not even dare to express his position in this election, for fear that something would go wrong and his children and grandchildren would not be able to handle it. If it weren't for the girl's kindness to her grandson, he wouldn't have met her this time. Unexpectedly, the grandson picked up the treasure. Seriously, Tao Ran was determined. Excuse me, Miss Ancestor. Dead. Died many years ago, so you can only rely on me. As long as you can cure my grandfather, you can do whatever you want. Mi Hongyu bowed to Tao Ran. Can I hire you? Be my grandpa's personal trainer. Hire again? I'm not short of money. Tao Ran smiled and took out the gift she gave to the old man, the bracelet. This bracelet is made by a craft inherited from my family. Remember to wear it all the time. It will be of great benefit to your illness. It's getting late, so I'll take my leave first. Please help me with the military academy. Regardless of the Mi family members who still had doubts about staying, Tao Ran left calmly. Mi Hongyu was still caring about the old man's legs, but he felt a sudden shock before he realized how to give them away. He hurriedly chased her out and opened the door for Tao Ran himself. Then, with a respectful look on his face, he drove her away personally. Tao Ran's mental power was far away, so he naturally knew that many people were watching them secretly. Tao Ran even heard from the housekeeper that she was the only guest that the Mi family had entertained in the past 3 months, except for a few old friends of the old man. The more attentive Mi Hongyu is to her, the more curious she becomes. The Mi family is deeply rooted in the alliance and has connections with the older generation in the military and Congress. From this point of view, even if I can't lead the me family to stand in line, even if it only affects the position of the me family, it will be a stumbling block for Nai Rong Hai's promotion, right? This is also one of the reasons why she wants to associate with the me family. You lied to me before. Chao Ran glanced at Mi Hongyu coldly. She had already inquired and found out that he had no brothers or sisters, and his only uncle had no children, so his previous story about brothers seizing the family property and chasing him was false. Grandpa forced me to take over his property. I didn't like it, so I ran away. Then we made a bet. I would run away, and he would chase me. If I was caught, I would have to follow his arrangements. If I escape successfully, I can escape again. Fight for 2 years of free time. Before I met you, I was almost at the end of my rope. I disguised myself, I made clones, I pretended to be a fake identity, I pretended to be an ordinary person, and I did everything I could. Thanks for meeting you. I won. So my old man is very curious about you. We are destined to meet again. I was sure that the old man would see you, so I brought you here. Boring, she would never experience the troubles and fun of rich people in her life. When they arrived at the place, Mi Hongyu expressed that he wanted to go in and have a cup of tea, but Chao Ran refused. The Mi family now relies on her, so she naturally has to be aloof in order to reap the benefits. Just as she was about to walk in, she suddenly remembered, Mi Hongyu, don't forget to go to Miss Nai's birthday party with me next week. She deliberately left this matter to this moment. I don't think I agreed. Mi Hongyu's face turned dark instantly. Then you want to refuse? I don't dare. I'll go. Chao Ran nodded and entered the room. See you later. I'll pick you up then, Mi Hongyu suddenly shouted. Wherever you want to go, I will accompany you. He grinned, jumped into the car, kicked the accelerator and roared away. Chao Ran gritted his teeth at his back. His mental power swept around, and when he shouted like this, how many people would be led astray by these words and start to speculate on their relationship again? This guy is also a fox. This is a different way to bind yourself. Chao Ran went home for a run, practiced some exercises, and took a shower. The Mi family's housekeeper had already arrived. The Mi family sent many gifts, including 2 boxes of collector's edition red wine for Zhou Heiya. The housekeeper said that the old man had already arranged that the day after tomorrow he would introduce her to recommenders for entering the military academy. When Mi Hongyu got home, he was told that the old man was holding the stairs by himself. Today is the most comfortable time for Mr. Mi's legs in the past 3 months. If he hadn't seen with his own eyes that Miss Bao didn't use any equipment or any medicine on her hands, he wouldn't have believed that simple acupuncture could have such an effect. And early the next morning, the old man was excited again. He has been suffering from insomnia for a long time, but last night, he slept for 5 hours at once. I slept soundly, dreamed of spring flowers blooming, and felt as comfortable as soaking in a hot spring. The only difference between him and the past is that he wore the bracelet given by Miss Bao when he went to bed last night. He called someone and brought in instruments to specifically test the bracelet. In the end, no problems were found with the bracelet. The material is made of natural minerals and does not contain any drugs or chemicals. Very safe. Another night passed. The old man still sleeps well, and the old problem with his legs has not returned. He was very excited. Early in the morning, I asked my grandson to go to Miss Bao's house to pick her up. As soon as Chao Ran arrived, the old man said, "This time, I want to hire you." He had already inquired that his grandson hired this girl as a bodyguard, and also tried to hire her as his girlfriend, but was rejected. He also found out that this girl had no foundation in the Central Star. His father wanted to spend money to send her to the military academy but failed, so what she needed was a backer. On behalf of our Me Group, I hire you as a shareholder, and I personally transfer a share of the stock to you. From now on, you will have a share of the profits of our Me Group. If you need it, Me Group can help you. The condition is that you gotta fix my leg. Of course, it's not just for his legs. The old man is shrewd. This girl has great physical and mental strength, and is so unfathomable. Who wouldn't want to rob such a talent once he gets out? Hurry up and find a way to get it by your side. From now on, it will be your grandson who will help you. Thank you all for your monthly votes. Thank you for Reset Lai Huo Wivua, Book Friend Tale number 51201, Xiaoao, Wen Haha and other babies for your rewards. Thank you for your gratitude.